Hi all, I wanted to show you how to make this granny square with the clusters, but my version is I always start from the corner and I work around to the other corner, which makes for no seams on the sides. I like to do it that way best. Today I'm using the Scipius Eliza in this darker pink. And I'm gonna start, it's with a size 4. So I'll start with a slip knot. I'm going to chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then slip stitch into the first stitch, and that gives me a circle to work my 8 clusters and so 4 corners. I'm gonna go into the circle and make my first single crochet and 2 chains. This is my way of making a double crochet instead of 3 chains, and this is going to be a cluster, so a cluster of 3, and that's my first corner. I'm going to chain 3. So for the cluster, yarn over, pull 1 up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull 1 up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull 1 up. Oh no, hang on, nope, we're already, oh no, yeah, yarn over, pull 1 up, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have 4 on the hook and pull through. Now we're going to chain 2. That's a side, and we're going to make another cluster. Now we've come to the next corner. We're going to chain 3. And I'm trying to work in my tail here so that later on I can tighten my circle and make it much smaller. So the corner is cluster, chain 3, and another cluster. That's another corner, so now the side is chain 2, and here's another corner. Cluster, corner, 2, 3, and another cluster. So let me just check what I have now. I have 1, 2, 3 corners. So I have 1 more corner. Make some space here. So chain 2 for the side, 1 more corner. So we make a cluster. Chain 3 and another cluster, and this is where I'm going to tighten my yarn and work it into that final cluster. So I tighten it as to where I want my hole to be in the middle, and now I'm going to pull up the little tail as well as I go into my first one, and just keep working with the tail in this cluster. And you see at a certain point it disappears, and I'll show you where it is. 2, and now I'm going to join into that first cluster. And the tail is here, and then later on I can just snip that off and you've worked it in nicely. So now we're going to go from our first corner, and we're going to start our second round. So here we're going to just do a single crochet, chain 2, that's your first double, and then make that into your first cluster. And we're already in the corner, and now we're going to chain 2 and put in another cluster. Oh dear. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. And we're going to place 3 double crochets into this chain 2 space that's going to make the side. So 1, 2, 3, and we're going to chain 2, and we're back at the next corner, where we're going to make a cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. Now we're going to chain 2, make another side, which is 3 double crochets into this chain 2 space. 1, 1, and 2, and 3, and then chain 2, and we're back at a corner. In the corner we work our cluster, chain 2, and a cluster. We made our corner, 2 chains, another side. We're going to place 3 double crochets into that chain 2 space, and the sides are always going to be an uneven number, which makes it easy to keep track of whether or not you've missed a stitch, or yeah, just to count it all up. This is our final corner. Make our cluster. Chain 2. And another cluster. Chain 2. I think I can pull up this tail. Yeah, just a little bit. Maybe I can work it in, maybe. And then we have our side, which is 3 double crochet, and we're at our first corner, 2 chains, and we're going to slip stitch in the top of that first cluster. I'll do one more round with you so that you can see how that works. So I'm in my corner again. I'm going to do my single crochet, chain 2, make my cluster, chain 2, and another cluster. Chain 2. And now we're going to increase on this side row. Where we made the chain 2 piece here, we're going to add in 2 more double crochets. Then we're going to double crochet into each previous one, and then we're going to do 2 more double crochets. So that's 2 plus 3 plus 2, which makes it 7, which is again an uneven number, and that's how you know that you've made enough stitches. Oop. So it's always the previous row plus 2. And then we're going to chain 2, and we're back at a corner. Here at the corner, make a cluster, we're going to chain 2, make another cluster, chain 2, and then in the previous chain 2 we put 2 double crochets. We put a double crochet in each of the previous row. Then we're going to make 2 more double crochets in that chain 2 gap and chain 2. And we're back at the corner. I'm going to keep going, and I'll meet you at the end here. Okay, so here I'm at my final side. I've already made my 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. I'm going to make 5 more double crochet to make 7. And then I'm going to chain 2 and slip stitch into that corner. There you go. So here I've made 3 rounds, and basically you're just going to continue working from corner back to your corner in the same way so that you get your granny square with the clusters beautifully in an X. You can make them as big or as small as you like. I decided to do 8 rows so that I could make an Afghan size in different shades of pink from Skepius. I hope you liked it. Bye.